First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. I give double honors to the elders that taught us this truth, from all the elders to Abba Bivens, to Ariel, to all the elders of GMS, etc. Right, and I give honors to my leader in Sakari, Chief Alazar, for bringing this spiritual breakdown. I'm going to go through this. The topic at hand was Ruth and Israelite, and emphatically, when we go through, it's really like clear. It's not, you don't really have to go too deep. And what I've seen is brothers really got to dive and really go out their way to prove that Ruth is an Israelite per se. But emphatically, just reading scripture and going verse by verse, and within the law, right, you find that Ruth cannot be an Israelite. It just doesn't add up. So we're going to start from Ruth, chapter 4, verse 10. It says, "Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, right, wife of Molan, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be cut not off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses." So brothers would say that Ruth was an Israelite, and Moabitess is just saying like she was just a citizen of Moab, right? She was just an Israelite that was a citizen. And when we go into the Hebrew word for Moabitess, because the Hebrew is very important. We're Hebrew Israelites, not English Israelites, not Greek Israelites. So when we go into Moabite, which is H4125, the Moabitess, the descendant of Moab, right? It flat out says this in the definition, right? A Moabitess is just a woman. A Moabite would be like a man, descendant of Moab. It flat out says that in the definition. It doesn't say an Israelite, foreigner, etc. It says a descendant of Moab, right? And some brothers will say that this inheritance, he brought her as a dowry, because the father is never mentioned in here. You only pay a dowry to the father, and the dowry is not even really a purchase. That's just a gift to the father. So there's no father mentioned in here, and then there's no instance where they would pay this dowry to the brother that I've seen. Right? And then we're going to go to the law. I'm going to reread the top part of verse 10. "Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Molon, have I purchased to be my wife." Now we're going to dive into the law. The thing is, can you purchase an Israelite woman? Has that been found in scripture, like anywhere to have, like, to purchase an Israelite woman to be your wife? I haven't seen that. The only time I've seen that is with heathens, right? And we're going to go into the law, the Torah, to prove that you can't. That this law, pertains onto what it says. It says, "Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you," right? The heathens that are around us, "of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids." Bondmaids was women, right? So he purchased Ruth to be his wife. You can't do that to a sister. That's not how that works. Right? Now we're going to go into Ruth 4:16. We just jumping around the book of Ruth, going through it real quick. It says, "And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom," onto it, right? And when you go into this, there's another instance where you see this, right? With I believe Jacob and Rebecca. Let me go there. Genesis 30 and 1. We're going to start from the top and go down to 3. It says, "And Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children," right? So Rachel, when you understand the context, she was unfertile. She couldn't produce children, right? Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, "Give me children or else I die," right? She's like, "Give me a child or I'm just going to die." Like basically she get into it like that. She was envying her sister, Leah. Jacob was basically having a lot of, he was just having kids with her. She was a baby factory, if you want to say. You got verse 2. "And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stand? Who hath withhold from thee the fruit of thy womb?" So Jacob was angry, right? Against Engel, because her mouth, imagine like this. I'm gonna give you a modern day scenario. Rachel, is the black woman of the day. She popping off at the mouth at Jacob, blaming her for something that he has no control over. Her womb is not producing children. She snapping at him, and he getting mad because she snapping. He didn't have no control of it. He like, "What you talking about?" God is the one this allow you not to have kids. Get mad at him. What you getting mad at me for? All right, verse 3. "And she said, Behold, my maid Belha Go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. Right? So it says, I may also have children by her. So wait, hold up. So is Rachel going to have sex with Bilhah and have kids with her handmaid? No, because she can't do that. They're both females. That's not how it works. How is it going to be her child? She's going to have children by her. Right? Rachel is giving her handmaid to Jacob to have a child that's going to be hers, that she's going to claim when you go into that. And the only time a child is given away from the mom is if she's a concubine. A concubine, what is a concubine? A heathen, right? A woman of, like a wife of lesser status. Only heathen women would be concubines. Israelite women never, you can't find that in scripture. Israelite women being a concubine. It just doesn't make sense, right? And now, let me see. Because people will say that the book of Ruth, she's an Israelite because she has her own book. The book of Ruth is actually a part of the book of Judges. When you look at earlier manuscripts, that's the problem with that. People are like, oh, look, she has her own book. Why would the Most High give her own book? But let's jump to we're gonna jump to Ruth 1 and 10. It's usually when you see the tribes going to war and stuff, they don't say go to your own people, right? The Israelites don't say that to each other. In this instance, they didn't say go to your own tribe, right? Ruth 1 and 10. And they said unto her, surely we will return with thee unto thy people. So they we're going to return you unto your people. They didn't say your tribe. They said your people. Alienated us, right? And then if we jump down, there's a lot of meat in here. If you jump down the Ruth 1 and 4, they took them wives of the women of Moab, right? The name of one was Oprah, or Oprah if you pronounce that. And the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled about 10 years, right? The women of Moab. Ruth was in there. And now we're gonna jump to a verse that they a lot of people like to use and they take out of context. They'll be like, wait, and the law, why would an Israelite break the law of Deuteronomy 7 and 3, right? They'll be like, you can't get with a heathen woman, you can't produce a child with a heathen woman, right? They'll skip right here. Deuteronomy 7 and 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. And they'll just isolate that verse, which is purely unintelligible, right? They'll just isolate it and say, see, look, I can't be with heathen, right? When you read context, let's start from verse 1, Deuteronomy 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before these, the Hittites, the Gershurites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Right? And when you go to verse 2, it says, when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Shalt thou make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them, right? And then you go to verse 3, which is the context of verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Then you keep reading through, it said, it goes, Most High is angry and furious with it. People take that out of context, right? And the whole real point of Ruth, right, is when you go to, let me go to Nehemiah, right? Because this is what was kind of happening. The Israelites, like an Israelite man would have a heathen woman, and the child would hearken onto the mother's religion and culture. And you can see this in Nehemiah 13 to 23 to 25. It says, in those days also saw thy Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab, right? And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, right? They cannot speak in the Jews' language. So these children were speaking the language of Ashdod, right? And they couldn't speak Hebrew, the language of the Jews. But according to the language of each people, And I contended with them, right, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. So we had a problem, like the children were hearkening onto the mom's religion and stuff, right? And if you go to 1 Kings chapter 14, verse 21, you see Rehoboam, right? His mom was Ammonite. So that's another thing, but emphatically, Ruth is really not an Israelite. I don't know why brothers try to prove that she's an Israelite. Maybe it's like a bigger like picture to it. But Ruth, like all the scriptures I've gone over, it just doesn't show that.